Hello class. Today we are going on to section 6.3, finding unknown angles. Finding unknown angles. Now when we want to find unknown angles, the function that we use on the calculator is sine -1, cosine -1, and tangent -1. Most likely you have to press the second function key or the inverse key to get to the top. These three functions are found on top of the sine, cosine, and tangent function. In order to use this function, you have to press the second F key or the inverse key to get to the top. Okay? Alright, now I'll be going on to work example 6. Let's look at part A. They want you to find the value of x. Now this is x. Okay, now this is the opposite of x. This is the hypo. Opposite hypo I use so. So sine x degrees is this. Okay, now you just need to press sine -1, 15/22 equals, you will get this answer. Now, angles in degrees are to be given to 1 decimal place, final answer. Working is to be given to 3 decimal place, truncate. Okay, so that is your part A. Now, for part B, let's look at part B. Now, part B, let's take a look at the diagram. This is the unknown angle Y. This is the adjacent, this is the hypo. So I'll use cosine. Cosine Y is 5.7/13. When I press cosine inverse this, I will get this answer. And if I round it off to 1 decimal place, this will be the answer. Okay? Now, so next, we'll go on to part C. Example, part C. Now for part C, this is the unknown angle Z. This is the opposite, this is the adjacent. We'll use TOA, that is, we'll use tangent. So opposite over adjacent, I will get this answer. And when you press the calculator, you press tangent inverse or -1, 15.5/23.6 equals, you will get this answer. Okay, now let me just recap again. Answers to degrees are to be given to 1 decimal place round off, and working must be given to 3 decimal place truncate. This is the rule for N level. Okay, now I'm moving on to the next example. That is example number 7. You can find example number 7, okay, on your textbook, alright, on page 203. Now, let's look at the first question. Find angle BAC. Now, angle BAC is this angle here. Okay, now I'm looking at this big triangle. This is the opposite, this is the hypo, so I use sine. Sine angle BAC is 6/14. You press the calculator, you'll be able to get this answer. Okay, now for part B, or the second part 2, we are supposed to find the length of AH. Now in order to find AH, I have to find HC and AC that I minus off. Okay, now how do I find HC? Now if you look at this particular triangle, this is the opposite, this is the adjacent. You look at it, you substitute in, you will get HC equals to 6/tangent 45. You get 6 meters. Okay, now if this is 6 meters, okay, HC is 6 meters. Now, then you look at this big triangle, I can use Pythagoras theorem. AC squared plus 6 squared is 14 squared. So I'm able to find AC using Pythagoras theorem. And AH is just AC minus HC. So I take 12.649 minus 6. I will get this answer. Answer rounding off to 3 significant figures. Now I repeat. All answers must be given to 3 significant figure. All working must be given to 5 significant figure truncate. For normal answers, for answers in degrees, working must be to 3 decimal place truncate. and final answer to 1 decimal place, round off to 1 decimal place. So that is your example 7. Okay, now I have finished all the examples on section 6.3. Now I'm now going through the homework that I've given, and I want to look at the questions. Okay, now let's take a look at exercise 6C, question 2E. Question 2E. Now they want you to find E. This is the opposite, this is the hypo. I use so. Therefore I use sine 12, 21 over 4. You get your E as this answer. Okay. Now some people be wondering, how come E is a value and is not degrees? E degrees already has degrees. So E is just a value, which is 34.1. Okay, 34.1. Alright, now next, part F. This is the opposite, this is the adjacent. Therefore, I get this tangent. I use the ratio. Then I will get the answer as 37.5. Okay, now part H. If you look at this angle, this is the adjacent, this is the hypo. I use car, so it's 14.2 over 19.4. You get this answer, and this is the final answer. Now bear in mind, if this is labeled H degrees, okay, if it's labeled H degrees, H is just a number. If it's labeled H, then H will have something degrees. This is different. I repeat, please listen carefully. If it's labeled as H degrees, then H is just a number. Okay, if it's labeled as H, then the H must have degrees because there's no degrees down here. Okay, please bear this in mind. Okay, please bear this in mind. Now, next I'm going on to question 3. Now, question 3 seems very difficult because there's a lot of triangles here, but actually it is a very simple question. Now, first part, they ask you to find angle ADC. Now, we know this whole thing is 7 and this is 4. Okay, so this will show that this is 4 and this is 3. So I'm looking at this particular triangle. This triangle. This is the adjacent, this is the hypo. Therefore, I use cosine. I will get angle ADC as 64.6 degrees. Okay. Now, next question. They want you to find BC, AE. Okay. Let's take a look at question 3. They want you to find, let me just take a look at the question again. Okay, they want you to find BC. Now, take note that BC is actually equals to AE because this is a rectangle. So when I use this Pythagoras theorem, I'll be able to find AE, and AE is the same as your BC, which will be 6.32 meters using Pythagoras theorem. So this is how we do it by using the Pythagoras theorem. This is question number 3. Okay, now I am moving on to question number 4. Okay, I'm moving on to question number 4. Now, let's take a look at question number 4. Question number 4, first part asks you to find angle MLN. Angle MLN is this angle. Okay, is this angle here. Alright, so let's take a look at this particular triangle first because I cannot find this straight away. Now, let us look at this particular triangle first. This triangle. Let me just highlight it for you so that you can see it carefully. Look at this triangle. Okay, my purpose is to find MN here. Now, to use 38, I must use cosine. Using this triangle, right angle here. I will use cosine. I will find that it's 4.8856. Now, once I find this side, I also know this side. I will make use of the big triangle now. I'm using the big triangle with this angle. This is the opposite. This is the hypo. I'm using sine, opposite over hypo. I get the answer straight. Angle MLN, 23.0 degrees. Okay, now the next part will make use of Pythagoras theorem 2 times. they want you to find the length of HL. Now, where is HL? This is HL. Now, in order to find HL, I must find NH, which is here. I will use Pythagoras theorem to find NH. Then I use Pythagoras theorem another time to find NL. Then I will take NL minus NH, I will get HL. So for this part here, I'm using Pythagoras theorem once. For the second part here, I'm using Pythagoras theorem twice, and I minus off to get the correct answer, or the answer required. Okay, take a look at the diagram and go through these steps again in your head. If you need to replay or pause the video, please feel free to do so. Okay, now I'm going on to the last question that I have assigned as homework, and that is your question number 5. That is your question number 5. Okay, let us take a look at question number 5. Now, what did the question say? First part, they want you to find angle EDF, which is this green angle here. Angle EDF, which is the green angle there. Now, before we do that, we must know that this is 126 degrees. Adjacent angles on straight line, this will be 54 degrees. 180 minus 126 is 54. Then this is angle sum of triangle. I will have this as 36 degrees. Okay, now I'm going to find this big angle first, which is angle EDG. Now I'm looking at this big triangle. Adjacent, hypo, I use cosine. I'm able to find this big angle EDG here. Okay, then how to find angle EDF? I'll take this big angle minus this small angle. So I take the answer minus 36. Okay, I take the answer minus 36. I will get this answer EDF. Okay, now the second part asks us to find the length of EF. Okay, the length of EF. Now EF is here. This is EF. Alright, so how do we find the length of EF? Okay, now first of all, we go and find EG using Pythagoras theorem. So this is the length of EG. Okay, then we use tangent 54. That means we are using this particular triangle to find FG. We are looking at this triangle now. Opposite, adjacent, I'll be able to find FG. I get this answer. And EF is just EG minus FG. You plug in the answer, you will get this final answer. Don't forget, working must be given to 5-figure truncate, and final answer to 3 figures round off. Okay, and for angles, working must be to 3 decimal place truncate, final answer must be to 1 decimal place round off. Alright, this will complete question 5 of your homework, that is for exercise 6C. Okay, this will complete your homework that is for exercise 6C. Now all of you are to take this down in your foolscap paper and file it up in your file. You can replay or pause the video anytime you want, and as many times as you want in order to understand the concepts. Okay, thank you class.